You're listening to The Disc Golf Show.
Welcome to the Disc Golf Show. This is episode number 19, brought to you in part by Final Nine Sports. They have two locations, one in Rockland, one in Orangeville, and you should support local, even if you're not local to them, because that's what you should do. My name is Justin. With me today is that guy.
Nick, that's me.
That is you. That is you. Today, we have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, we have a
do
show.
have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Packed full of information about disc golf.
I would hope so.
Hold on to your socks. Because you should. And that's it. That's all I have.
All right.
That's
all
all
right.
I have.
Are you sure?
I could think of some other awkward ways to open the show, but I think one or two is enough, right?
All right.
That's good.
We'll get into the goods.
We should. Should we get into like congratulating people and talking about tournaments and stuff? Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
First thing.
No. First thing
Go
before you get into your first thing is I'll have you all know. Okay. We here at the Disc Golf Show, we run a good show, I would say. You know, I'm a little biased,
so.
but I'd say we run a good show. We do tons of research. And occasionally we even play the sport of disc golf. And we did this weekend out of Rockland at, one of our local courses here. This next weekend, we're going to play at OV. So, hey, if you guys are listening to this and you're in the local area and you want to do a whole sync up, play round, whatever, let us know. Shoot us an email. Just putting that out there. Just putting it out there.
Message us.
Shout out to you, Biggie.
And how did you do?
Here's the thing. I did better than I did when I was consistently playing almost every weekend. And I hadn't played in maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe. So I think what that goes to show is just take time off.
Just don't
you
play.
need to take time off.
Just
don't play and you'll maintain. You won't get worse.
Yeah.
You'll get better.
You'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did way better than you thought you did.
I got one birdie. And
I did. Okay.
I was leading you for just a second. It was
Yes.
short-lived.
Yeah. Yeah, you were.
But it was there.
Yeah. And then I just tanked the last 2 holes. So that was fun.
I mean, it happens. It happens. The last 2 holes is where I finally figured out all the stuff that Ken was telling me to do in my drive.
Yes.
And I remembered it suddenly, like an epiphany went off. I'm like, oh yeah, should have been doing that 17 holes ago.
Yeah. But it'd been a few months. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hadn't even looked at a disc golf disc, but so it felt good. It felt good.
Yeah.
We're going to break that streak and we're going to keep going out disc golfing because that's what we do and that's what we should do. That's what I want to do. So let's do it.
All right. Well,
all right.
On that note, we wanted to send out a few congratulations because not relegated to just 1 or 2. First, Katrina Allen and Austin Hannum finally had their little baby girl named Eloise. So congratulations, as well as Sarah and Paul Ulibarri. They had Raina, little girl Raina. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. I hope they enjoy the baby time. So soak it up when you can and as much as you can because it goes by fast.
Yeah, everybody says that, and they're right. It does.
Yeah.
It goes by real quick.
You don't realize it until it goes by quick.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Sapupayu, and he recently just got married on August 8th. In fact, I guess it was kind of a surprise because they showed up with their family and everything, and it's like, hey, it ended up becoming a reception. They met up with their friends and family.
Hey, Seppo, opposite congratulations for you. It's all downhill from here. You ran a high point.
Good luck.
And,
Good luck.
It's okay. My wife doesn't watch the show. But congratulations anyways.
Good.
I'm kidding.
That's good.
It's awesome. So, congrats.
On another note, though, there was an announcement from the Will Schustrick. So Will Schustrick apparently has been working on a disc golf course for the past year plus, and
I would say probably plus, yeah.
Yeah, he just announced it. It's called the Corbettas, and that is it's located in Enterprise South Nature Park in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So if you're in the area, go check out a course designed by the one and only Will Shoestrick.
Now I want to go to Tennessee even more now.
Right. Tennessee it's nice. I mean, I liked it when I went through there, but obviously I didn't play any disc golf.
Oh, you've gone through?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I went through where Graceland is, as well as
cool.
As well as the Country Music Hall of Fame. That was really cool.
Oh, cool.
And then there's
lots of things you could do. You could plan your trip out to Chattanooga to Tennessee, but you could go through all these areas and then do some disc golfing, and then there you go. It's a good itinerary.
You know what you use discdrifters.com for that.
There you go.
Little shout out.
If they still had the code, you could use that too. But
we'll have to recontact. Maybe we can get that going again.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I don't know if you saw it, but recently Dynamic Discs announced and actually posted a video of their deal with Walmart now. So now, select Walmart. So I don't know if it's across the board or anything, but go to your Walmart, see if you are a fan of Dynamic Discs. They have some of them, again, have discs, the starter packs, bags, as well as targets, as well as baskets. So go check your local Walmart to see if maybe you can grab some disc golf goodies from there.
The disc golf targets not available at Target. Just clarifying.
Yeah, not at Target, at Walmart. Yeah, exactly. Talking about goodies, disc golf goodies. So I received. I like to show my support how I can. Right.
Absolutely.
I like to show my support how I can, when I'm able to.
Right.
I don't have the funds that I would love to have to be able to show a lot more support, but I do have.
None of us do.
There, right? Yeah. Well, I ordered a Disc Golf Pro Tour 10-year supporter box that was posted on their shop for basically it was $100. It was $99.99 or $99, whatever.
I was going to ask how much it was, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, it comes with, I think it was a shirt. I haven't opened it yet because I'm going to be doing that a live thing or whatever.
Cool.
A shirt, a magnet, stickers. I think 3 discs. And something else, maybe a pin or I forget. And then you also had chance because there was limited to 500, right?
Okay.
Only 500 of these available. So I think you had a chance to win like a basket, a cart, different goodies that you had a chance to win. So maybe there's a ticket in there. I don't know.
Hey, maybe you have the golden ticket. We'll see.
Maybe that would be nice. However, when you go on, so I know everybody hates it when I like to call it constructive criticism, but
I love it. I love it.
Right.
I call it your old mannerisms.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. My old mannerisms. Yep. One of them is when you see something on a website that you want to purchase, especially when it's a commemorative thing, right? It's something that's relegated to a set number. If you see even when you buy what are they, just boxes like shaving boxes or goodie boxes, when you buy right tech boxes, when they ship the box, I believe those boxes come in packaged inside of another box, right?
Depends, but usually and
that's just a generic box, right? But for this special occasion boxes, you would think that, okay, well, you see it on the site. I initially think, oh, this is something that could be collector, right? Some people will buy it, won't even open it, and just save it for decades, and then it'll be this neat item that they had from way back when.
Especially if it's like a box that is not just a generic box, but it's like a box that has like the name on it and everything. And it's designed to be to fit that theme of whatever you're getting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it shows up, says it's delivered. I walk out to my front door. I look down and there's just the box. It's just the box. It's got got a mailing label slapped on the side of it. And not only that, which I may have let that slide.
Yeah, because you could
If
probably
not,
get that off. Yeah.
yeah, if
A
not for
little
the
bit of Goo
fact,
Gone if it's tacky.
yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah.
ways to preserve it, right?
Yeah.
If not for the fact that it was just bashed in on one of the corners.
Smashed in, yeah.
So
Yep.
I was, and I reached out. I haven't heard back from them. Hopefully they get back to me. It would be nice to at least acknowledged as
Well, it's good that
explanation
they
or whatever.
didn't put a fragile sticker on it, because if they did, it would be in 2 pieces.
No, for sure.
Because that's how the postal system loves to handle that.
Yeah, I was just a little disappointed in the way it was mailed. I think that when you purchase something that is a limited quantity item, that packaging is part of that item, especially if that's what's displayed. Listen, when you go buy anything else, they don't show you the packaging for it, right? So why would that item be the actual packaging for the item that's being shipped? You know what I mean?
Right. Especially
So, I
because
don't know.
they've gone out of their way to get like a custom box
Yeah,
with like
printed.
printing and
It's really
design
nice.
on
It
it.
was really nice
That's
looking on the website.
Yeah, and that's obviously part of what you're collecting is the box itself.
Yeah,
So you would think they would go the extra step and put that box within
inside.
another box,
Yeah.
right? Just to preserve it, specifically
So,
for those collectors and people that want to keep that box, right?
yep.
So I understand, to their defense, a little bit that yes, that would then cost you a little bit more in shipping. But here's the deal: who paid for shipping, you or them?
I paid for shipping because that gets tacked on
Oh,
the
so
price.
they could increase the
And
amount of the shipping and put it in another
cover.
box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And who paid the tax? Was it you or the
Well,
company?
that would be me because I'm purchasing the
Oh,
item.
because you're
It's taxed.
purchasing it.
Yeah,
And here in the
yeah,
States, we have the option of passing the tax along to
yep,
the customer so that they can
yeah,
pay that, and the shipping too, right? That's
yeah,
not something that you have to pay for, but the company's going to make you pay for it. That's just kind of
yep,
understood. So yeah, if you're already willing to put those 2 things on there, as most companies are, just make it a little more, put it
yeah,
inside another box.
yeah.
There you
And
go.
it makes the unboxing experience that much better rather than having this bashed up item that later on I'm going to be doing.
That's
I
the main thing.
listen,
Yeah.
listen. If the only thing that results from this is
Mhm.
them realizing for the future that they don't do that again, fine. I'll take that as a win.
Highly recommend that they don't. Normally, well, I wouldn't say normally. A lot of the times, I might not agree with your old mannerisms, as I'm going to label them from now on, but I'm 1,000% on board with this one. That's
Yeah,
kind of bad form. Like
worse
I
too.
know you can't control how stuff is shipped. Once it's out of your hands, it's out of your
Yes.
control. But you could do your due diligence to make sure that it survives mostly intact until it gets to you, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's
Yep.
I don't think that's asking too much,
I don't
especially
think so.
because you're going to pay for it anyways as the consumer. You're just going to pay a little bit higher shipping cost. And I think most people would be on board with that. Like, oh, okay,
Yes.
couple extra
Yeah.
bucks and my package isn't going to be squished by the postal service and kicked around like a football by the time it gets to me. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
understand there's
Yep.
not anything fragile in there, but still, because it is a collector's item, I want it preserved.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm totally with you on this one.
that's my
Fix
initial
it.
gripe. I'm sure you're going to hear
Fix
another
it.
gripe here later on. Yeah. Fix it. Disc
Yeah,
Golf Pro Tour.
right.
Just a suggestion. Listen, I love you guys.
Yeah.
I love what you do. I love the Disc Golf
Mm-hmm.
Network. I love all the
Absolutely.
effort you're putting in, the team and
Yeah.
everything, all that work that
Yeah.
you guys put in.
And
Just
fix those T-pads.
ways, yeah. Ways, hey,
Mm-hmm.
always looking for ways to improve. Always.
Absolutely.
Little by little, if that's what it takes. That's all that
Yeah,
matters, is as long
sure.
as you improve.
Yep.
But yeah. So okay, so before we get on to the meat of the show, what do we
Mm.
always do here? We smash, tap, hit, punch, slam,
Flog.
click, click the subscribe button,
I
right?
like
Yeah, flog,
flogging.
flog. We should start
Flog the subscribe button.
flog that subscribe
Mm.
button.
All
That's
right.
going to be it. We're
All
going to go with
right.
flog the
Flog.
subscribe
I
button.
love it. I love
We
it.
really appreciate your support.
Absolutely.
Okay, so again, there was only one event this time.
Yep.
So after that major, the divisions got a week off, kind of rest, come down. Although not everybody took that week off. Some of them go play A
Right.
tiers, some of them go do this
Yeah.
and that. Take time to visit family, go see some sights, whatever. But
Right.
this event, the 2024 Discraft Great Lakes Open, was held in Milford, Michigan. It was this year had a new sponsor that I've new to me anyway, new to us, was the Garrett J. Verberg Co.
A candy
company.
company.
A candy company, yeah. So they
Yeah.
do licorice. I think that's probably, my guess is what a lot of older candy companies started out with was licorice. That seems like an old,
Maybe.
But they have
Did
a
you
variety.
know that licorice used to be part of the rations of Roman soldiers?
Really?
Yeah. They
You
like
just
a
make
form
that
of it,
up?
not what we eat
I
today.
can see
But
you
no,
making
no,
this
no,
up
no.
and just
No, I
going,
mean,
yeah.
normally, yes, I would make something up, but they actually did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, support those companies that support disc golf. It's
Absolutely.
GarrettJverberg.com. So GerritJverberg.com. And go get
Nice.
yourself some goodies. This was held at the course known as the Toboggan Course.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen this course, it is it's next to the last golf course at the major, how hilly it was up and down. This is right on that level. If not as bad, it's very close to as bad of a hiking course that you could get. You get exhausted just going up and down the fairways. So you
Nice.
need a lot of resilience. You got to have a lot of energy to survive not only one, but in this case, 4 rounds at this course.
I like the way
And
you put that. Survive 4 rounds.
dude,
That sounds intense.
it is.
Sounds intense.
You get up one hill and you can hear just the announcers, the people on the course,
Mm-hmm.
just talking into the microphone to
A
answer
little bit
some
of a
questions
parade.
from the booth. Yeah.
Nice.
So then
So
they're just carrying their backpack of goodies for announcing.
I have something I need to admit
What's that?
to you, Nick, and to all of you listening or watching to the disc golf show right now. I was a bad disc golf show host, and I didn't watch any of this tournament. So I'm gonna have to watch the highlights afterwards, because or maybe watch the whole thing. I don't know. I
Well,
got
there's a
time
few
now.
things that are interesting about it that you would find funny
Yeah.
slash maybe you should pay more attention as a player. But we'll
Okay.
get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
One of the things. So let's get into a few
Interested.
of the things. I'm going to make this short and sweet. Okay, we're not going to go through this round by round here. There's a battle. There's always a battle. At this event, it was a pretty significant battle near the end. So we'll get to that really quickly here. Couple notations. One was hole 16. Hole 16 was is an island tee shot. And last year, Simon was the one who won it. And last year, he basically had a small lead going into this hole.
Okay.
So what he did was he just powered his shot completely up and over everything to the back of the island, because at the back of the island where it stopped was only a 20-foot putt. So if you power it over, you will basically get a gimme for the pros, a gimme par, right?
Oh.
So he took any bogeys out of play by just launching this thing up and over across the whole island and getting a gimme putt. So he's
So
right?
he just basically threw it past to the backside.
Yes. Yeah. It intentionally OB, but just past the basket.
He's a thinker, though, but it would be closer.
And the crazy
so then
thing
he wouldn't be in danger of a drop zone.
Yeah.
He'd still be OB, but he wouldn't have to go do a drop zone craziness.
Yep.
He
because
would
he went
genius.
over the island. Yeah. So he did that. And on live coverage last year, you heard Terry Miller and Nate Doss going, what is he doing? What did he just do? But them, after doing that, realizing the rules of that hole, going, oh, that is one of the most veteran plays we've ever seen.
200 IQ move right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Nice.
Yeah. So he does that. Well, this year they Simon proofed it. So basically, you miss island, it doesn't matter where you miss, you go to
the drop zone. Okay.
Yeah. So, but what he did,
fair enough, I guess.
He ends up throwing some great shots on that whole this event anyway. But it's neat to see those tweaks that they go, oh, we didn't think about that situation and that choice at that point in time. So
I love that.
Simon did pretty good.
I love that that's still a thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like disc golf's not to a point where, everything's tied down and it's just, there's always like somebody can find a way, and where there's a way, they're going to find it, right?
They're going to find that loophole.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end, Simon, he played some solid, he had some chances, a few, OBs here and there. If he hadn't gone and taken those OB shots, he would have been in the running. But I think I believe he finished solo 5th.
Oh, okay.
So he had a good event. He had a good event, but ultimately, well, let's cover the FPO division first.
All right.
This one all comes down to the final round as well. It came down to basically the whole lead card was one off of each other. So I think it was like 19, 18, 17, 16. Nice. Holyn Handley had the lead, and Kristen Tatar was right behind her. Owen, I think, rounded out that lead card. Oh, Cat Merch was the other one that was in on the lead card going in the final round. And Holyn was able to fend them off, a charging lead card as well as Chase. And Holyn ends up taking another win this year. So shout out to her, Holyn Handley. As for MPO, coming off of a major, Isaac Robinson, shows that he's not tired from winning a major, and it's not going to be that win a major and then and tank the next event. He throws really well this event. Heimberg has a chance at it. There are a couple newer names too. We've heard Luke Taylor recently. That's a name that's popping up. He's a bomber. Yep. He was on the lead card at one point, and we had 2 Calvins on the lead card. So Calvin Heimberg and Calvin Longquist. Funny story there. Round 2. So here's round 2, first hole. He's on lead card, right?
Okay.
They throw their tee shots down. He throws his up shot. Calvin misses a putt, and his disc rolls away. His disc ends up being probably 4 feet from where Longquist's disc is. So Longquist goes up to his disc, lines it up, putts, hits basket, drops, and in the process, kneels down, grabs his disc and Heimberg's disc, picks both of them up and starts to walk away, looks down at the one in his right hand at Heimberg's disc and looks and goes, and just freezes like, what did I just do? And then there's a couple videos where you see, they're like, that's going to get clipped, because not only Heimberg, kind of just like, what, like mouth open, right? Like slaps his leg with his disc that he's going to putt with, and is like, what, why did that just happen? And then you see in the background to his left, Simon Lizotte kind of like a smirk, like, he didn't just do that, did he? So funny. So if you get a chance, check out those videos. They're popping up all over social media. You can see those clips. But
so what do they do?
So they place it back as best the spotting as the card thinks it is.
Okay.
Calvin putts it, makes it. And I believe Longquist got penalized for it. I think he got a stroke or two for it.
Okay. I was going to ask, did they give him a stroke for that one? But
one of your first times on lead card, you got to feel so bad. I feel so bad for the guy, because they're both Calvin, so maybe he saw it and it had. I don't know. Maybe sometimes he goes up to his putt or his shot and he has more than one disc with him because a lot of players do that sometimes.
Right. That's
and
it's an honest mistake. We're humans, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna make,
But it was so funny because he did it in just like 2 steps, and he looks down and he's like, "Oh no, oh no."
That's awesome.
Poor guy.
That's
so,
awesome.
Biggest part of this was the fact that you had Gannon shooting, I think, 10 down in the second round, bogey free, and I think an 11 down, bogey free round 3. And he ended up having a lead by, I think it was 3 strokes starting the final round, got it up to about 5. And at one point it was down to 2 or 1 strokes. Ricky was charging hard.
Cool.
So the final 3 holes are really tough at that course. There's OB involved in some of those, and a lot of the brush. If you land in this stuff, it's tough to get out. You don't really have an open shot or anything like that. But he played smart. He ended up having, in fact, shout out to his mom. His mom was on the bag the final 3 rounds. So he had his mom on there, and he ends up pulling off. Not only did he win this event, he actually ends up getting all the Elite Plus Series events this year.
Wow.
So
okay. Yeah.
So he has a sweep of all the DGPT Elite Plus events. So big shout out to him. And another note here is the fact that I think 5 out of those 6 were 4 rounders. So he has the ability to play strong for full 4 rounds.
Right.
So that's something that's going to be tough for the rest of the field if he keeps that up. And the fact that I've been saying, because this, for the past couple months now, a lot of people are going, is he in GOAT contention talk?
Okay.
Obviously, for me, I initially said, I would say give it another 2-3 years before you start saying that. But he's doing his darndest to make me look like a fool in me saying, give him the way he's playing this year is
I'm ready now.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, one of his goals is to get Player of the Year. So he's stating that as long as he does well these last few events that are left, he feels if he does well, then he's got it on lock. But he goes, if Isaac or Calvin or even AB, if any of them, or Ricky, if any of them do well over the next few final events, that then maybe it could be anybody's game. Because last year it was a big issue that I think Isaac got Player of the Year.
Right.
Isaac had 2 majors and I think maybe 1 or 2 Pro Tour events. And Gannon had several Pro Tour events. And the argument was, would you rather have a solid full year or win 2 majors?
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All the players were like, no, win 2 majors. We want the majors. That's what you're going to be remembered for. But there is an argument to saying, yeah, but I placed in the top, let's say 10 the whole year. So Player of the Year, it depends on how you look at it there. But ultimately the in the end, he's sweeping all the Elite Plus Series, and he's making me look like a moron by saying it's going to take another 2 or 3 years for him to be in the GOAT conversation.
If you were to ask him, I'm sure he'd say, this guy Nick on the Disc Golf Show, he's actually my motivation.
I hope
think
so.
That's what he'd probably say.
I hope he heard me.
And they're saying, GOAT, not for me. Oh yeah, not for Burr. Well, I'll show you, Nick. I'm pretty sure that's what he would say.
He totally does not know who I am, but okay. Okay, so here's the what was it? The old mannerisms.
Old mannerisms. Yeah,
I got a couple here for you.
Okay, all right.
They're probably silly. They are silly. I know they're silly, but I like to get them
old
out of my
mannerisms.
system. I don't want them banging around in my head here. I want to get them out. right?
The
One of
coffee's
them,
tepid, Nick.
yeah.
Coffee's tepid.
Inside joke.
Only certain people will know, but just trust me on this.
None of those people watch this, so
no.
So if you're going, okay, so for the commentators,
okay,
if you're going to wear a suit jacket,
yes,
please wear a long sleeve under it. To me, it's like it's an afterthought of wearing a suit jacket when you have no sleeves. It looks like you're wearing it over a tank top. That's what I picture in my head. If somebody wears a short sleeve shirt but with a suit jacket on, and they put their arms down, and that suit jacket pulls up to like mid forearm, and there's just, again, this is just me being picky, right? It looks weird to me seeing a suit jacket without sleeves underneath it.
Wow.
It looks
Nick,
kind of,
folks, Nick has turned into the fashion police.
I'm just saying. Yes, I see these things and it bugs me. It's just personal things.
Did you see that announcer with the suit coat? He didn't have any cufflinks on. How dare he? Yes. Bet you didn't wear a cummerbund either.
Nobody's going to be talking about that but me. But I got to get it off my chest, guys. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Other thing. How many times? And again, this is probably just a me thing. Maybe it isn't, because I know there's some jibber jabber about our buddy Nate Heinold.
Some jibba jabba. All right.
He's presented at least 3 trophies for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Okay. And it feels weird to me that it's that I don't see that in any other sport. I don't see the same person presenting trophies at all multiple times through the PGA Tour. I don't know. It just caught me off guard because I realized, and it's the most recent events, it was like Nate Heinold's presenting this trophy to the person multiple times in a row. And I feel like it's almost like, what's the word when you have all the, I'm coming up with a loss for words here.
Just describe the word that you're looking for.
So you have, it's like a utility that you have no other options. Monopoly. It's a monopoly. Oh. Nate Heinold has a monopoly on the tour events. And it feels weird seeing him present these things at like 3 events in a row. It just, I don't know what it was. It just, I noticed it and I go, why is he presenting this again? Oh, why? Because the reason why I think about this is that he's a Discraft guy. And I almost feel like it's like a Discraft, not Monopoly, because obviously there are other manufacturers that are large and do well. Mm-hmm. But it was just one of those things that caught me off guard because I'm used to seeing different TDs present these trophies to the players at the end, and just seeing the same person multiple events in a row. It feels like it was just like, why am I seeing this guy again? Which is fine. I like Nate. It's fine. He does a good job, Ledgestone and everything.
I was about to say, why does this matter?
It's just weird. It's to me, I don't know. I can't pinpoint the exact reason. I just think of it as monopolizing because he is part of the PDGA as well, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like let go of the spotlight. Let somebody else do that. Somebody else that's prominent in the leadership team of that event.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really. I think that's a non-issue. Like,
it's not.
Trophy.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's not a big
anything.
thing. It was just a weird thing that hit me. That, like,
I mean, now
it was multiple times in a row.
If he was coming out there and been like, "Here's your trophy," and everybody buy Discraft, like, oh, okay,
But everybody
Maybe
knows
now
who
we
he
have a problem.
represents too. Everybody knows who he represents.
Sure, but
You know what I mean?
like
I don't know.
there's multiple sponsors of events and
Again,
stuff.
this is one of those things. I'm not willing to die on this hill. It was just this
Yeah.
thing that like hit me because it was like literally I feel like it was the last 3 events in a row. The same guys. It's like, does anybody else hold events? Is there anybody else that TDs events, or is Nate Heinold the only guy that does this?
I mean, what if it was?
What if it was what?
He was the only TD of every single event
No,
in disc golf. Period.
no.
Would it really matter?
It feels weird. It feels
Why?
weird to me. To me, it would matter
Why?
because it's like, I can't pinpoint the reason. To me, it's just weird. It's like to me, it feels like because he represents Discraft, it's this isn't a word, monopolization.
Monopolization. Okay.
Monopolization.
Okay.
Of the tour at that point. If you're the only person that's holding then what does that say about anybody else? Like, you're the only person that can create a good course? That's not possible. That there's only one person that can create a good course.
I mean, you're just the TD, right? And like, if you're handing out the trophy at the end, I mean, the simple fact is he's not the TD of every event. And even if he was, and he was just the TD of every event, it wouldn't really change the game, right? The rules are still going to be the rules, and the courses are still going to be the courses, and who cares who's handing out the trophy? They're not the winner, and it's not like you get a +1 if Nate's there. Like,
no, I get that. To me, it was
like,
just, again, for me, it was just the fact that, like, had it been spread out, let's say he had an event in March, in June, and then in September, right? And maybe even the finals where it's broken up. It was just, it hit me and I was like sitting there going, didn't he just present World? Didn't he just present Ledgestone? Didn't he just present? Why are all these events being, and if you think about it, he's on the board at PDGA. So to me, it's, that's what, maybe it's a conflict of interest type of a thing. Because you're on the
that's
PDGA.
Where I'm failing to understand why it matters. Even if he is. Even if he's the president of the United States of America. It doesn't matter if he's the TD.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter for the tournament and the play.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like well, I'm on the board, and then these are going to be big events, and I'm involved in the big events. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I think I see what you're saying, but I also at the same time fail to see why that would even matter.
I don't know. It just, again.
I understand, like, it's kind of a weird coincidence that he's 3 in a row, and for some reason that feels wrong. Can't put a finger on it. I get you, but I'm also struggling trying to figure out why that would be a bad thing.
No, like I said, it was just something that stuck out to me. It's old mannerism. Okay, leave me alone. It was an old mannerism. Okay.
I'm tired of seeing Nate's face right here, putting it out there. Nick hates Nate.
No, I
don't.
Here
first, folks.
I don't, Nate. It was just weird seeing you present three events in a row. Or what seemed like 4 events.
Here's what you do. You send an email
to Nick at
discgolfshow.com, and you guys can hash out why he hates you.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't hate you. Okay. Although here, check this out. Okay, let's move on. I feel bad now. You're making me feel like a horrible person for just mentioning that, because Nate works his butt off at these events, and it's appreciated. He does a good job at these events. So thank you, Nate. Sorry.
Did you see how he said that, Nate?
Shoot me. Okay?
See, there was a little something behind there, like, thank you, Nate. Did you see that? I saw that. Okay. I saw that.
So coming up, shush. Okay. Coming up, we have one again. They get a little bit of a break.
Yep.
And you have one event between now and our next show, and that is September 19th to 22nd. It's the 2024 Green Mountain Championship. That is in Jeffersonville. Vermont. Yeah, good old Green Mountain. It's that's a big course too, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. These hiking courses have got to be exhausting for the players. So, okay, I've got a few questions for you.
All right. Hit me.
All right. First being,
Okay.
with Robinson doing so well
Mm-hmm.
at majors this year, with this being a contract year for him,
Okay.
which he stated himself that this is a great bargaining tool for him moving into a contract year. Him
Yeah.
saying that, one, do you think he will leave Prodigy? And two, if he does, who do you
Mm-hmm.
see being a good fit for him to sign with?
Uh, okay. So I think you're hitting the nail on the head here that by the end of this year, he's going to have a lot of bargaining power because he's doing pretty darn good, right? Does he stay with Prodigy? I'm going to say no, he doesn't. And why? That's the easy guess. That's why I'm going with it, because everybody seems to be leaving Prodigy, right? That seems to be like the thing people are doing. And I don't know if it's they're leaving or Prodigy's pushing them out. They're trying to make room for maybe the Isaac Robinsons to try to keep him on board and be able to push that up, because maybe they foresaw some of having some problems like that, like, financially putting their pros at certain levels, right? I'm guessing monetarily
Yeah.
in this case. But does he leave? I'm going to say yes. Yes, he does, because he's going to have great bargaining power. There's going to be other companies out there that are vying, right? They're just waiting for him to come through. And maybe he already has somebody in mind. Maybe he wants to go be with the Power Boys and, join up with a little bit of Simon,
Oh,
action,
MVP?
maybe a little bit of Eagle action, right? I don't know. That's where I could see him maybe going in my mind.
So here's actual different
Mhm.
question then.
Okay.
Where do you think is the best fit for him versus where do you think he'll actually go if he were to go
Uh,
somewhere else?
that's a completely different question.
Yes.
Uh, that's really tough.
Or where
What
would
do
you
you?
like to
What?
see him go?
Where, I would like to see a little bit more, maybe love going to DD,
Okay.
personally, um, and that's a really biased opinion. Um, but what about you? You smile like there's something there, that you have this thing in your mind that you want to bring up and put out there. You're like, I know. So what do you think, Nick?
Well, no, I think somewhere that he could go
Mm-hmm.
that would give him options
Mm-hmm.
would be DGA, because DGA, you could have it in your
Okay,
contract where you could throw Discraft and not technically be Discraft, but you could throw Discraft.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
And Discraft already has a stacked set of pros.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they would pick him up. Um,
Yeah.
MVP, because they just got Eagle, I don't see him going there.
It's probably not going to. Yeah.
Innova, I could see him going to Innova, because right now I'm
Maybe.
trying to think of the big names there are Heimberg,
Yeah.
Coling. Coling, if he's more of a personality now, but
Right.
he's
Right.
still got game. He's still got game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have who else is at Innova that? Oh, Own,
Mm-hmm. It's having a great year.
Barsby.
Mm-hmm.
They just picked up KJ from Prodigy,
That's right. From Prodigy.
and they picked up who else was just bounced from Prodigy? I don't know. I think, well, okay. So here's the other thing.
Okay.
Here's what I'm leaning towards.
Hmm.
I'm kind of torn on this one. Discmania. One reason, the main reason being that his buddies,
Right. Right.
Gannon, Alden,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I had it right there. I can picture his face, but I forget his name. I always feel bad about this because he's seems like a really nice guy. Their crew, there's
Okay.
three of them that are there.
Mm-hmm.
So the only person that would be kind of left behind out of that group is his brother Ezra at Prodigy.
Right.
So I will say, I'm going to steal this from Brody. Dark horse pick, DGA.
Okay.
They have
I like
Katrina Allen.
I like it. Yeah.
You know, they have not Randon. They have Radolin. Cole Radolin is at DGA.
Right.
So I feel like maybe maybe
Okay.
DGA.
Okay.
That's my guess. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see. I
Yes.
think you're probably right with where he wants to go.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But I don't know. They just got Gannon. Like that wasn't cheap, I'm sure,
I guarantee you it's not, and it's not going to get cheaper from the outcome of this year. I'll tell you that. So
exactly. Okay. Let's move on to question 2.
Okay. All right.
This popped up because I was watching friends of the show, Smashbox.
Right.
They were interviewing John Houck,
Mm-hmm.
well-known designer, course designer, and they discussed rough. They discussed the purpose of rough and how to best design rough.
Okay. Gotcha.
So my question is, when rough is involved in a wooded course, because obviously those are the courses that you'll get it, should it progressively get more difficult depending on, let's say it's cleaned up for the first 10 feet, and then it's a little thicker for the next 10 feet, and then it's really tough after that, right? So it progressively gets harder to get out of the rough depending on how bad of a shot it was. Because if you're off the fairway in a wooded course by 5 feet, do you think you should get that punished because you were just slightly off? Right? That's one thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that, hey, you didn't hit the intended line, that's the rough, it should be punishing, it doesn't matter? So do you think it should be immediately punishing if you don't hit the fairway? Or do you think that there should be some give depending on the level of bad shot that you may have thrown?
I think kind of in a perfect world, I think, an increasing level of difficulty the further offline you get would be the best, right? Because that makes logical sense to me. If you wanted to punish immediately for not hitting a specific line because maybe that hole, especially when you're talking about like at the professional level, is a little easy, right? And you're trying to up the difficulty somehow, and with the space that you're given, you just make an OB marker, right? That makes it a little bit more difficult. You don't necessarily have to, manicure your way into difficulty levels, which is kind of why I like it and dislike it at the same time. Like, if you've got to go out of your way and trim back nature to make that happen, I'm less on board with that, right?
Yeah.
Simply because a lot of these places are in parks and stuff, and
Yeah.
some of these places are shared spaces, and just because disc golf's there doesn't mean it owns all of this land, right? Everybody should be able to appreciate it, and we should preserve as much as we can, right? That's my tree hugging stance right there. But if there's a benefit to it, like, hey, maybe clearing out some of this stuff in the way would actually help the things around it grow better. So it's probably best to do it anyways. Sure, I'm on board with it. Or if you can design it in such a way that comes into effect, great. But if you can't, I say just kind of utilize OB markers the best you can to make that happen, right?
Okay.
Would be the ideal world. In my mind, I don't know if that answers your question, but
No, it does.
that's how I think about it.
It does. I think one way you could also think of it is kind of what you touched on a little bit is if it's a fairly stock easy shot for them, immediate punishment is fine.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't be shanking it bad enough to go anywhere OB because it's a very simple shot.
Right.
However, if it's a very specific shot that is tough, then you implement the more gradual
a gradient
difficulty.
of difficulty. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes some sense. All right.
Yeah.
All right, question 3.
All right.
We talked about this during our round a little bit, and
Okay.
it just kind of made me think about it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Is moving forward, where disc golf is going,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel that, because all courses matter, um, there's a need and a
Mm-hmm.
necessity for easy 9 holes, easy 18 hole courses for new players, so they
Absolutely.
can gradually build their confidence and gradually build their skills, right?
Yep.
Do you feel that maybe public courses, again, this is moving forward, maybe not right this second, right now, but let's say 10 years from now, public
Mm-hmm.
courses should lean more towards the new player and be easier? And then hopefully, in my future, what I hope for in the future, private property courses, pay to play courses, are the ones that you go to actually really look for those more challenging courses and be more difficult. So, question simplified: public courses easy, and private courses in the future more difficult, but the public courses should stay simpler and easier.
I think this is kind of a nuanced answer for me. Yes and no. So, in the ideal future state, most of your private courses being, more difficult, right? And your public courses being a little bit easier, more beginner friendly. However, I think what should be taken into consideration is the area and the land that you have, right? And if there's a certain scenario, let's just pull one at random, Nick, because I've never ever talked about this before, where a tree falls down, right? It goes down. And you decide, as the person that maintains this course, I'm going to take a branch from this tree that falls down and I'm going to cement it into the ground where it used to be so that it ups the difficulty of this hole back to where it was. Because, yeah, on a public court, what are you doing? Right? Like,
I don't
and
think I've ever heard this before.
the whole idea of putting that branch back there is to make that hole a more difficult shot. Why? What's the point? Right?
Yeah.
So on
Yeah.
a public course, you can't have a shot that's a little easier, or move the pin position, right? Make that a little bit more difficult. Put it in a little bit more awkward area if you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some spaces don't allow you to do that. I get that. I don't think that every single public course has to be made as difficult as it can be. Now, when it comes to tournaments, sure, up the difficulty, add in a couple temporary holes. That's different, right?
Yeah.
Your everyday public course, there needs to be a little bit of thought and consideration into what is this course for and who's going to play it, right? Yeah, you're always going to have your veteran players that are always looking for, an increase in difficulty as they get better, right? And that's great. And you can do that in a whole bunch of different ways as a veteran player. You can challenge yourself to get a better score on that course, right? You can challenge yourself to do different shots or maybe forehand that one when you would backhand it. There's ways to make a simpler course more difficult for yourself, right?
Yeah.
But when you inherently decide to up the difficulty in a public course that doesn't necessarily have the space for it, and it will never be a pro level area, right? It'll never really have anything above a, let's face it, B or C tier.
Yeah.
Why? Why are we doing this?
Yep.
Make it a little bit more simple for those beginners. Encourage them to play, right? They have a little bit easier shot. They're having a better time. They're like, oh, I'm getting the hang of this, right? Maybe you have some holes that are more difficult. I'm not saying making the whole thing easy, but you
Yeah.
need that variety. And at least like around here, I'm seeing the opposite of that logic go on, right? We have courses that they're never going to be those upper echelon courses, but the discussion has always been, how do we make it more difficult?
Yeah.
Why? What's the
Yeah.
point? Right? If it's a TD, completely different story. But just
Mm-hmm.
your everyday round, why are we talking about making the entire course on average more difficult when the pull for people to come into it is probably the people that have, been there a while, but also the influx of new people, right? You're losing that aspect of it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
That's just my thoughts. And I just see like ridiculousness going on in some of the courses around here where we're deciding to, instead of making things safer, instead of making things look a little bit better and not look like trash, we're
Yeah,
deciding to keep things and put things in place just to make it more difficult. And I think that's just the wrong mindset to have. I understand it. You're a good player. You want the difficulty,
yeah,
but you're missing out on that whole other aspect for this. And you're sacrificing things that you shouldn't be, like player safety on your courses, right? Come on now. That should be priority number one.
oh, for
And I'm not going
sure.
to bring up specific examples because people will immediately know what the heck I'm talking about. I don't want to start a flame war here. I'm just
Hmm.
stating my opinion. Okay. I just don't think enough attention goes into that, at least from around here. I would love to hear anybody that's listening to the show, is a fan of the show, if you have your own opinions about some of these things and maybe some of the courses in your local areas. What are some of these things that are kind of like gripes to you, or things maybe that, courses that you have around you are doing really well and other courses could learn from? I'd really love to hear feedback from you guys and what you think. But I don't want to skip out. Nick, what do you think? I've been talking for like 80 minutes, it seems like.
No, you know what? It made me think of another aspect.
Mm-hmm.
For these courses that we already have in place that people are trying to make more difficult,
Mm-hmm.
let's just take our area. Why not add to the course in a way that, yes, you can have it difficult, but
Mm-hmm.
let's improve it by making it easier in other ways. Let's put shorter tees pads for a different layout. I think that is an
Yeah.
underused thing because that's now, if you, again, I'm going straight off of, these people go, oh, well, let's make it harder. Well, what are the people, what's the Pro Tour doing? They're having an FPOT and they're having an MPOT
Yeah.
because there's different levels of ability. There's different levels
Yeah.
of competition.
That would be a
So
brilliant way to do it.
I think that that's something that is very underused at courses. I do
Mm-hmm.
know of courses that have different T pads, but they're few and far between.
Yeah.
It's very like, nope, this is the layout of the course. Now,
And I mean, conversely, people could say the same thing like, well, you could make it easier on yourself. Just tee off from a different place.
yeah,
Right.
but
Okay.
then you're just
Touche.
making
But
up a
then you're
spot
just
to tee from.
arbitrarily doing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And if
not
you're
a
trying to
set.
learn the rules, it's not,
It's not a set
you know,
shot from an
yeah.
easier T pad. I
Right.
think that's something that could definitely be. I mean, honestly, and with the course coming in soon,
Mm-hmm.
stay tuned. It's almost there, guys.
Oh.
Um, the that is one thing that we talked about, but
Mm-hmm.
it hadn't. Obviously, that's probably something that will be more addressed down the road. But one of the things we
Right.
discussed was the possibility of having a juniors or FP, a female T-pad,
Right.
a women's
I
T-pad.
think
So
it's an important consideration,
yeah,
because you want to design those,
yep,
because there's really what it comes down to. The most important thing, honestly, is safety and flow of the course. You don't want
yes,
people arbitrarily picking a place where they're throwing into other players. You want to design
yep,
that secondary tee pad that's maybe a little bit easier, uh, with that in mind, right? There's all these kinds of rules, especially when you're in like a public place and it's city or state owned property, that you have to take into consideration. So it has to be a designed element, really.
yes,
I mean,
yeah.
really, you know. So
Definitely. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's one big thing that people should do. If you're interested or if you are looking to design, especially when you deal with the city, do not be dead set on having to get your way on everything. You cannot be
You'll
that
never
way.
get it.
You have to be very open to adjustments and changes through that process. I
Hmm.
came to learn that very quickly, and I'm very
Right.
adaptable. So I didn't go in there thinking I was going to get what I wanted, however I wanted,
Right.
because I know how the state works. So,
Yeah.
and city. So it's one of those things that you definitely have to be appreciative of what is it. If you want to get into designing, you have to be appreciative of the property that is offered. You
Hmm.
have to be very open to the city and let them know if that property, if it just doesn't look like it fits for disc golf, let them know that. That way they know what to look for maybe in a different property. That's another option you could take. But if it is possible to put something on there, but it's not going to be, this fancy new, really difficult course, make a nice, simple course for new people to play. Don't be dead set on having to have a pro tour course.
Yeah. Put a 9-hole in.
Yeah. Put a 9-hole. 9 holes are very underrated.
Yeah.
9 holes. You can not only have a 9-hole, but there's at least 2 courses right off the top of my head that I've played around here that have 9 tee pads, 2 basket placements.
Yep.
Do that.
Absolutely. Why not?
You can move a basket 30 feet and have a completely different shot.
Absolutely.
Depending on the terrain. So take that into consideration, depending on if you are involved or wanting to look into. Hopefully you do. Anybody who's out there, go talk to your city, see if they're interested, because with disc golf where it's at, where the pros are, where the industry is, any reason to get more people into that city or that town is a good reason to that town or city. So if you can promote disc golf any way you can, I say do it. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me. I'm not the number one person to call, but I'm always willing to help however I can, if I can.
Right. Yeah. All right. I have a final question for you, Nick.
Oh, what? Don't even ask me.
Who won?
I don't care. I'm done. I'm not done. I'm done. I've given up. I've given up. I don't remember. Did you win again?
No, I don't think so.
No. Ken?
So I thought, of course.
Ken win.
Of course.
Ken won.
Of course. Yeah. I didn't get to watch everything, but I did get to see screenshots of his single-digit scores.
Dude,
so congratulations, Ken.
Yeah, again. I feel like I'm hogtied in a trunk of a car playing against him.
You know what we should do? We should bring on somebody that knows a bit about fantasy disc golf and just have them do like a little segment and help all of us out and make better decisions and maybe some pointers to look for when you're making your picks for your fantasy league. He's not going to tell us because he's got to take the win. You know,
we'll have to watch our own.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch.
We'll have to watch our own show.
We'll put it in code so we don't get it right away.
Right. Just like, okay, guys, listen. Okay, don't tell these guys, but this is who you should pick. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we should develop that further, huh?
I think that's a good idea.
It is a great idea. You know what? Also, is a great idea. Saving money. You got it, Nick. You're on board. If you use the code Disc Golf Show, you can save yourself 15% off of some swag, maybe a new bag, maybe a shirt. I don't know, maybe some other stuff that are on the store. Go check it out at Upper Park Disc Golf and save yourself 15% again by using that code Disc Golf Show. Because who doesn't like saving money? I like saving money. Do it. This episode was also brought to you in part by, you guessed it, Final Nine Sports. 2 locations, 1 in Rockland, 1 in Orangeville. Just support local. That's the message. Thanks to them for being an ever-present partner and helping us bring the show to you, at least in part. Big thanks to them. Support local. That's really the message. Final Nine Sports. Yes. There you go. Subscribe, like Nick said, obviously, to the show. You can send your emails to the show at discgolfshow.com or Nick at discgolfshow.com if you don't like something that was said.
Hate mail, bring it my way.
Specifically by Nick, because he loves reading it. It helps him go to sleep at night. And remember, in disc golf, as in life, aim high and let it fly.